I finally stood up against my mother-in-law, but now everyone's against me. Ooh.
Uh-oh. Sorry about that.
My husband and I got pregnant with my son when we were first dating in grad school. It was a surprise, but we moved in with my parents to continue our education while supporting a child. His mom lives 10 hours away, so we didn't see her often. Initially, I loved her. She was cool, fun, and laid back. For now. By the way, this comes from Lissa Million, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
And I'm Savannah.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers, so we're just going to guess what we would do in this situation. Let us know what you do in the comments below. And OP says, our first blip happened in October 2014 when she showed up to my baby shower 2 hours late and was upset that all 40 of us didn't wait for her.
Whoa.
Cool. In December, our son was born, and she overstayed her welcome in the hospital room. In January 2015, we got engaged and asked her to do the rehearsal dinner. She said yes. We just needed to pick the place since she was out of state. In October 2015, we visited her. I tried showing her my dress, and she scrolled through her phone, telling me she'd see it at the wedding without even looking up. In spring 2016, my mother-in-law had her license suspended due to multiple accidents. In May, my husband lost his job and our insurance. So fast forward to June 2016, 1 month before our wedding. Mother-in-law wanted to take my son to her state during our honeymoon. We said no due to her driving record and my son only having catastrophic insurance. We offered her our apartment and car so she could still spend time with him, but she declined and made a huge deal about being hurt. Her husband even called and chewed my husband out like he was 13. So now, July 2016, we get married. She didn't come to the rehearsal dinner, let alone pay for it. She didn't get her other son a tux, even though he was in the wedding. So my mom paid for it. She never paid my mom back, which was about $500. She didn't get us a card or present and didn't even say congratulations. She didn't smile in any pictures or dance. Clearly, she was pissed about where our son stayed during our honeymoon. I'm still hurt by how she acted, but I didn't let it ruin my day. I'm not upset about the money. It was about her not sticking to her word and her character. Fast forward now to April 2018. Okay.
All right.
We're jumping around on this timeline.
Yes, we are.
My husband graduated with his MBA and landed a job. August 2018, we bought a house. No easy task since mother-in-law sank my husband's credit by having him co-sign things that she defaulted on.
No. Yikes.
Yikes. And we found out that we were pregnant again after years of trying. In December, she asked us for a large sum of money to help with bills since she spent too much on Christmas. We said no, since we also had Christmas, my son's birthday, a baby on the way, and a house that had just flooded. Oh. The next day was my son's birthday, and she didn't call, probably because we didn't give her the money, which my son still remembers. In January 2019 now, she gets a job in our city and randomly moves here. She asks to stay with us while looking for a place. I say no since I was high risk coaching robotics and I like my space. She landed the job in early January and didn't start until February. Plenty of time to find a place. I sent her listings and my husband offered to apartment hunt with her, but she didn't take it. As soon as she moved here, she's been awful at communicating. We would invite her over, and it was like pulling teeth to get her to commit. When she would come over, she wouldn't make eye contact with me, whispered at the dinner table to my husband, and continued whispering when we asked her to speak up. She asked my husband to ask me questions when I'm in the same room, and tried to manipulate my son by telling him that he needs to ask for her to come over more. It sounds like such a lovely party guest.
Could you imagine that? She's just like, could you pass the peas, please?
Like it's right,
like it's just that.
Yeah. Can you ask your wife to pass the please?
Could she pour me another wine, please?
Right. After the second awkward visit, we stopped inviting her. Then we started getting mail with her name at our house. What?
Wait, how? What did she just say? Like, I live here now.
Yeah, she's just that's crazy. My husband asked her to stop, but she didn't. She even said, I know you told me to stop, but
I know you said not to, but like,
yeah.
I kind of want to.
I kind of want to.
I kind of like this.
And she said that she used our address when applying for a car. What? Girl, Why? What's the reason? It got so bad that our mail lady glued a label with her last name into our mailbox. My husband told her again to get a P.O. box. April 2019, our daughter was born. Okay.
Full house.
Full house. Mother-in-law visited the hospital and brought her son who sneezed and coughed the whole time. Next thing I know, I'm sick 2 days after the C-section. Yikes.
Oh, no. That stinks.
Yeah. I sent a text to all families saying no more visitors until we're out of the hospital. Everyone was cool with it, except mother-in-law. She didn't see my daughter again until almost a month later and sent my husband a text about how I'm barring her from her grandchildren. Oh, you poor thing. In May, mother-in-law wanted to bring my husband's stepdad, who she's divorcing, to see the baby. I didn't want to see her. She was triggering my postpartum depression and anxiety, so I wasn't there during the visit. My husband pulled her aside to remedy things. She said I'm the one that hates her. Cool. My husband brought up that she hasn't liked me since before the honeymoon ordeal. She ended up crying and yelled, "I'm moving back to Virginia," to my 4-year-old. What? You did that to the 4-year-old?
Me too.
Oh my God. The week after, my daughter spiked a fever and we rushed to the ER. Mother-in-law texted my husband, chewing him out about not telling her our daughter was in the hospital. My husband tried calling her, but she didn't answer for 5 days.
What? Wait, she didn't answer for 5 days. She's like, how dare you?
How dare you not tell me that she was in the hospital? It's like, how am I supposed to do that when you're not answering? Then she said it was because she was out of town for business. Yeah, I'm out of town, so I'm not bringing my phone with me.
What business is she running?
Dude.
Or where's, like, I'm curious to see this lady's timeline.
Yeah,
Because
right?
it seems like OP's given us so much of their timeline. I
Yeah.
want to know what the mother
Right, what it
is
is from like
doing.
her perspective.
Yeah.
I feel like she's just running like long cons and like across state lines, and she's
Like a
just
mattress firm.
Yeah.
Money laundering.
she has to like move. She has to go to these different towns to move some money around.
For real.
Right? Yeah. We also received mail from the IRS addressed to her, plus a car loan and credit card. She
Not the IRS
the
being like,
IRS.
excuse you.
Literally.
ma'am.
You're gonna be like arrested for harboring a fugitive. Like
Oh.
you're gonna be like you're gonna be accused of that just because her address is
That's
yours
true.
now.
Oh my God, you totally wouldn't. The IRS does not care.
Right? She lied about continuing to use our address. She said that I'm keeping her from her grandchildren and that I hate her. She told my husband that she won't speak to us unless she needs to. So, any advice? We do have an update. She didn't call or text my husband on Father's Day. I tried messaging her about the IRS thing, and she responded to my husband instead.
What?
I emailed the person on the envelope about what was happening, then called the post office to get her removed from our address. They called back personally to apologize and scribbled over her name in the mailbox. Okay, we have a second update. That's great. I was wondering if you had to like sign into like all of these like websites for the IRS and the car loan and something and change the address there, but that's a good way to just get it all over with.
Yeah.
Go to the-
Honestly, very, very efficient.
Very
I
efficient.
don't know how to adult that yet.
I wouldn't
I'm not
either.
there.
Now we know.
The IRS is not coming after me yet.
Yep, until they find out. Update number 2. She hasn't contacted us for months. Then one day, I hop on Twitter to find that she's been posting about us.
Oh.
Here are some quotes. Not allowing children to have a relationship with a loved one because you dislike or don't see eye to eye with that person is wrong. Not allowing your children to have a relationship with the ones close to that person is worse. I was always there for you through your whole wrestling career. I never missed a match, despite distance or weather. If there was a tournament that you wanted to go to, we were there. I was your biggest fan. And you still couldn't take the time to let me know my grandson was wrestling. My husband was hurt and broke no contact. He let her know that it was hurtful to drag him through the mud when she's made no effort to fix things. He said that he still wanted to compromise. Her texts back were awful. She was cussing and venting instead of apologizing or compromising. This was the last straw for me. I sent this message. You are such a drama queen. If you truly want a relationship, then quit being passive aggressive and talk. Otherwise, don't come for my family on social media. I have zero time for your petty BS. You are a grown but woman hiding behind a keyboard instead of speaking to us civilly. We've left the door open for you long enough, and yet here you are playing the victim better than Taylor Swift. Either figure yourself out, get over the crap show you've made, and be a part of our lives, or keep our names out of your mouth. We'd all love to have a relationship with you. You are the only one getting in your own way. Ball is in your court. And she didn't respond. I have surgery to remove a mass on November 5th, so I blocked her on everything. I love OP's storytelling. I love it so much.
I was just about to say, by the way, I'm getting a mass removed, and this just so you know, very pertinent part of the story.
I love it so much, and the stuff about the wrestling stuff, that's just like I think we should just randomly throw things into our stories more. I appreciate OP's.
Me too. It's very scattered, but I still understand.
Yeah, we're getting the message, and it's just adding a little bit of a humor in there.
It's keeping you on your toes, honestly.
For
I'm like,
sure.
wait, did they mention that before? Oh, wait, no.
You're right. You gotta make sure you're paying attention.
Wrestling came out of nowhere.
That
mass came out of nowhere.
Came out of nowhere, but not for OP. But good thing she's getting it removed. So I blocked her on everything. Then I saw posts from his brothers and decided to block them too. But I messaged them first to let them know I just needed a break, and it was nothing against them. Y'all, I got slammed. I was called everything from a self-absorbed person to victim to ugly. It was like high school cyberbullying. I sobbed and I clapped back because I don't let people walk all over me, but I was literally shaking. They defended the tweets saying, "How do you know mother-in-law wasn't talking about someone else? And she just uses Twitter to blow off steam." And I'm supposed to move past these tweets because she uses Twitter as a diary that the whole world can see. And by the way, the whole world, including you, can listen to full episodes with more stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. And there is a little bit more to the story, but my oh my. What are your thoughts so far?
I think that mother-in-law is cray, but I feel like there's like two sides of the story, obviously. Yeah? Mm-hmm. But I very much think that this mother-in-law is a little cray. Yeah. And I think that she needs to just, cool it. But obviously that's not her thing. But it's so funny that like what her like sons or whatever, the other people defending her, like, like saying like, how do you know that was about you? Yeah. What other wrestling tournaments has she been to?
Right.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah. There is a little bit more to the story. What was also interesting is mother-in-law has bad-mouthed all of them to me, insulting her husband, calling her daughter-in-law stupid for marrying her other son. And about her other son, she said, "Who cares? He's a dumb butt and she's a dumb butt for marrying him. Why would they stick up for someone who talks so negatively about all of them?" Besides that text, which was not my finest hour, I'm not sure what I did wrong. I'm willing to hear criticism because there must be something I'm missing. I'm saddened that they hate me. My family is huge and close, so this really bothers me because I thought that I'd have the same with my husband's family. So what do you think? What do I do? Apologize? Move on? I'm at a loss. And that's the end of that story.
My mother-in-law made my husband cry and still thinks she deserves respect.
But you see these tears?
That's what I'm saying. My mother-in-law, 59, is the biggest self-absorbed person you will ever meet. For some reason that we cannot figure out, she has never really liked me, female 27. I've always thought it's because my husband, male 28, is her youngest kid/son, and no one will ever be good enough for him, which is super weird in itself. By the way, this comes from you, Totally Bubbles. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to OK Storytime subreddit. I am Savannah.
And I'm Angie.
And we're here to give you some good advice, goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We are not professionals. We only say what we would do in the situation. So let us know what you would do in the comments. As OP says, she has 3 kids, a daughter and 2 sons. Her and her daughter had a falling out and stopped speaking for a few years because of how bad my mother-in-law is. I am incredibly close with my mom and my siblings, and she has shown time and time again how jealous she is of my relationship with my mom. My mother-in-law has always been terrible. But the first thing she did that really started all of this was when we moved to Florida a few years ago. First mistake was Florida. It was my birthday, and my mother had flown down to surprise me since I was struggling with moving away from my family. My mother-in-law and her husband were already in town from helping us move some stuff down. We decided to go out to dinner for my birthday. That was fine until the check came around. Uh-oh. I am not even kidding when I say my mother-in-law looked at the waiter and said, "I will be paying for everyone but her," and pointed at my mom. I was ready to throw hands. That's my mom, and you don't talk to her like that.
Oh my God.
That's kind of crazy.
That is crazy. In front of everyone, too. That's wild.
We're going, yeah, everyone but her.
Right.
Not this one. Like,
Oh my
crazy.
God.
Crazy to just be like, yeah, no, we're not
Yeah.
her.
That's wild, dude.
But my mom said, I don't think so. I will either pay for this whole table or I will pay for just me and my daughter. My mom and her have not spoken since. Oh, it's been 4 years.
Oh, wow.
My mother-in-law's sister doesn't even talk to her anymore, as well as several of her other family members. Okay, so we can kind of see something forming here. There's already a disconnect from other family members, so not a good starting point, mother-in-law. Last year is really when it started going downhill. I was pregnant, and we were planning a gender reveal. She is obviously divorced from my husband's dad, and that's where the party was since he lived where we did as well. They have been divorced for a long time and are both remarried. We're all adults, so it shouldn't be too hard to get along for your grandbaby's gender reveal, right? Wrong! She didn't come down for it because it would have been uncomfortable. That was quotes. Even though when she previously visited, she had no problem going to his house and using his boat all day when he wasn't there. But still, grow up. My mom and my sisters flew down for the gender reveal, and the day before we decided to have a beach day and end it with a sunset cruise on the boat. Well, my husband, boyfriend back then, proposed on the sunset cruise. Cute. So wait, that's so romantic. This proposal was supposed to happen weeks before, but the weather and timing never worked out. He never planned for my mom and sisters to be there either. It just happened to work out that way. Okay, well, whatever. After the proposal, his mom was the first person to send the video to. He was very excited, by the way, but she never responded. He had to call her the next day to make sure she got the video, and she was livid. What? Her response was, "You get what you get and you don't throw a fit." Oh, okay, rhyming scheme. She's the Riddler. She couldn't be happy for her son because she was so caught up in the fact that my mom and my husband's stepmom were there and she wasn't. She straight up told my husband and myself that we should have told her about it and that he was planning on doing that. I was literally in my pajamas when he proposed. How was I supposed to know about it to tell her? The only people that knew were my husband, his dad, because he was the one driving the boat and had to get us right in the sunset, and his stepmom because he asked her to record it. The next day was our gender reveal. It wasn't anything crazy, just some balloons in a box, and we opened it and the balloons came out. Whee! Simple. We let my mother-in-law know exactly what time it was and gave her a 10 to 15 minute window of when we would be opening up the box. We had someone ready to be on FaceTime with her so she could be there that way. We called her 15 times.
Oh my gosh.
And she didn't answer. Wanna guess what she was doing? Any guesses?
No, actually. I'm just thinking like she's hooking up with someone. But like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it probably wasn't that.
I feel like she'd probably be like, oh, I was running errands or
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sorry, I was watching it ring and didn't, and waiting to see how long it would take for it to stop.
I really, really love to hear my ringtone. Golfing. That's the answer. She was golfing. None of what we said.
No.
She never answered. She knew weeks before about this party and she chose to go golfing during it. Pathetic.
Wow.
Later that day, I ran home to let our dogs out and my husband called me crying. I have seen this man cry maybe twice in our 6-year relationship, so I knew something was wrong. Ugh. Side note, men crying, I kind of like, it's a soft spot, but also I have to turn away because I laugh. And
Really?
it's, I know it sounds horrible, but I'm just like, Oh. Anyway, so I knew something was wrong. His mother decided to call him and go off on him. She said we should have waited to open up the box until she called us back. But she never did. What?
Yeah, right? Like, the only time she calls them back is to just totally verbally berate this guy. Like,
yeah. Like, that's what
you had
should've-
15 chances.
Why didn't you call me 16 times?
Right.
Are you kidding? She didn't call back until at least an hour after we opened the box. My blood was boiling. If my mom wasn't able to fly down, she would have been on the phone way before we opened the box to make sure she didn't miss it. What were we supposed to do? Make all the guests who were actually at the party wait for her to call back? I don't think so. Now, every time I think of what was supposed to be one of the best weekends of my life, all I could think about is her and how she made her own son cry on his big weekend. She never reached out to me to congratulate me on the engagement. Rude. Or the gender reveal. Rude. Things were obviously weird after that. And about a month later, my husband tried to mediate a phone call because he was obviously upset with what happened. Her husband did all the talking, and it literally sounded like he was holding a pew pew to her head to make her say sorry.
Wow.
Literally, that's all she said. Not even an I'm sorry, just sorry. There's a difference.
100%.
Yeah.
Especially in like this kind of situation where she's already not doing nearly enough to show up for her son.
Yeah.
Just saying sorry. It's like, you want to say like what you're sorry for or something.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's just, I don't trust it at all.
Yeah, it really does seem like she is just saying it to get everyone off her back. She did not speak to me my entire pregnancy. Not one call, not one text, no comments on all my ultrasounds or bump pictures I posted, nothing. And now when the baby is born, she wants all this access to her? You must be clinically insane if you think you're going to disrespect me and then get access to our child. We moved across the country back to where she lives. Most of our family lives there. When I was 26 weeks pregnant, she never even offered to help with that at all. She came to the hospital the day after our daughter was born. She didn't even say hi to me when she walked in the room or ask how I was feeling after the C-section. When it was time for me to breastfeed, she threw a fit when I asked her to leave the room. She has come to our house several times since our daughter has been born, and it's so awkward and uncomfortable. She doesn't even say hi to me or try to talk to me. She came to visit once when our daughter was about a month old. She's 8 months now. And I spent the entire time crying in her room because I was so mad and angry at the thought of her even holding our daughter after she walked in our home without acknowledging me or asking how I was doing. That is crappy.
For sure.
I don't like this mother-in-law.
Not at all.
We have seen her several times since, and it's like she doesn't even want to attempt to repair what is honestly past this point of repairing for me. By the way, you can repair your life by listening to full episodes with stories like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. There's also an update, but do you have any thoughts?
I mean, yeah, boo. Boo to this mother-in-law.
Boo, mommy, no.
Yeah, it's like she just doesn't have any sort of concept on, I don't know, like how other people's emotions work. Like,
Yeah.
not at all. She's not being considerate of the mother of her grandchild at all. Never has been. Even her own son, she's been disrespectful towards. It's like kind of like the last story we read. It's like if you want to have a good relationship with your grandson, you have to have a good relationship with their parents.
Yes.
You gotta.
All right, here is our update. I stay at home with our daughter, and she has made several comments like, "What do you do all day? Just watch TV? And it must be nice to just sit around all day." My husband has stuck up for me several times. I love my husband so much, but he is a very passive-aggressive person and hates confrontation. He is just the happiest person I have ever met, and he just wants everyone else to be happy as well. I know that it's his mom, and I don't want him to resent me when we cut her out of our lives, but I just don't know what to do at this point anymore. I can't continue to get treated like this and still be okay with her around our daughter. Any advice is helpful. Thank you. And there's some comments. Comment 1. Why do you two keep going back for more? Why are you setting up for your child to be exposed to this disgusting behavior? Educate yourselves about enmeshment and the bottom line is, If she is a self-absorbed person, she will never change. You can put boundaries and consequences for breaking them in place to protect your little family. Personally, I would go completely no contact. She is not a mother figure. She is a nasty, toxic cloud. I mean, agreed. I thought, like, immediately, like, you just, after knowing you just, like, pick it up. And it's like, yep, they only, this is who they are. And they don't change. They don't. Don't try.
No.
Don't even try to go there.
Because that starts, like, with childhood. So it's
yeah.
You're too old for me to be able to.
And the thing is, they don't want to change.
Exactly.
And then it annoys them, and then it annoys you, and then it's just this constant back and forth of just like, well, you did this, I did this, you did that, well, you did this. Like,
exactly.
Oh, it's horrible.
Horrible.
Don't do it. OP says, we have thankfully decided to go no contact after she asked my husband to dinner, just the two of them, and legit had a list of things she thinks I've done wrong.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy. He asked, okay, now that you've said everything you think she's done wrong, tell me what you have done wrong. Good question. She said she has done absolutely nothing wrong, and everything is my fault. I cannot fathom how someone can think or act this way. I'm just happy she is finally out of our lives. The commenter replied, saying, enmeshment is the word. My guess is she hasn't got a romantic life of her own, and if she's married, her husband ignores her. So she gets what she needs emotionally from the man she raised.
That's right, because she originally said, like, no one's good enough for my son. I forgot about that.
It always comes back.
Yeah.
The hardest part of this scenario is when a husband is too spineless to correct her. I know from experience. I wish I knew what to tell you, but he'll have to be the one to shut her down, and unfortunately, the boundaries you can control are ultimatums and no contact, resulting in you being the easy-to-go-to, labeled scapegoat and villain. I wish you much luck, and am so sorry you have to deal with that witch. I lived 9 miles from my monster-in-laws, crazy.
Oh my gosh.
And 2,500 from my own kin. What a mistake. I hope she doesn't destroy your marriage. And that is the end of that story.
My mother-in-law tried to replace me, so I went no contact to save my sanity.
As you should.
Oh
Good
my
job.
Gosh. It's going to be a lengthy post about how my mother-in-law has traded her access to our lives for the chance to get her jollies, making snide remarks. Dear husband, 38 male, and I, 38 female, have been together for 6 years with a 1-year-old. We both work full-time, and my parents live abroad while my in-laws live in the same city. While I've tried to be patient, my mother-in-law's constant interference and me character has become exhausting. By the way, this comes from dancehead246, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
And I'm Savannah.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers, so we're just going to guess what we would do in this situation. Let us know what you would do in the comments. So, OP says, a day before our wedding, mother-in-law told husband, don't plan anything yet. She isn't looking 100%. That's daunting. Like, don't plan a wedding yet, but I won't tell you why.
That's like crazy.
It is. She was insinuating not to plan on getting pregnant because I wasn't looking perfect. Why was she even thinking about our wedding night? She then spent years telling us not to have kids because they'll ruin your life and just get cats. It's like, great. Thanks, Mom, for letting me know that kids have ruined your life. Thanks, Mom. Love it. Love it. When we bought our house, she made negative remarks about traffic noise and train sounds instead of congratulating us. She redirected the conversation to herself, talking about her friend in the hospital as if our house purchase wasn't a big deal. When we announced our pregnancy, she ruined it with, oh, well, if you had bought a house near ours, I would have helped you raise the kid. She then spent the next 2 years telling us, 1 kid is enough, don't have more. The second child will be bad and ruin your life like mine did. Oh my God. Constantly saying this in front of me. When I was 6 months pregnant, she even joked that husband should, quote, borrow an egg from her niece, suggesting her son have offspring with her niece in front of his pregnant wife. Because our little one was due on Christmas Day, husband said that we wouldn't be doing Christmas presents that year. Despite this, mother-in-law brought her diary to our house and got offended when I gently reminded her. She sarcastically said, oh, I thought you would still have a huge Christmas feast, a big tree in the front yard, and all the lights and decorations. A week later, she repeated this taunt in front of her friend, deliberately embarrassing us. Yeah, it's like, sorry, I'm too busy being 9 months pregnant, dude. I can't. I don't want to put up all these lights.
I couldn't go up on a ladder.
You're right.
I
Right.
couldn't hang these lights. There's something in the way.
Yeah, and then even if he did that, it's like, when are you going to have time after your newborn is there to take them down? Like,
Yeah.
come on.
You gotta think realistically.
Right. The day before I was due for delivery, mother-in-law spent 8 hours at our house doing nothing to help. She told me we should stop at one child because a second would be, quote, bad like her second son and ruin our lives. Oh my God. I'm pretty sure this is their second child.
Yeah,
but
why
this-
does she keep saying that?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is the first child and I'm like misunderstanding, but either way. I mentioned I'm the second of 3 siblings and was the easiest child. Her response, then why didn't your mother stop at 2? Why did she have 3 kids? She later added, when you have kids so late, it'll be hard to look after grandkids, essentially calling me too old to have children. Ironically, mother-in-law still holds anger towards her own mother-in-law, who passed away decades ago for saying something similar to her 38 years ago. We love a hypocrite. We love to see a hypocrite.
No, literally.
We love it. Yet here she is doing the exact same thing she's resented for decades. When we had our baby, she showed up at the hospital with a large Sully toy and sulked to husband that I didn't seem excited enough. That toy ended up in the bin. Mother-in-law made my postpartum all about her, constantly pressuring husband for updates, photos, and invitations. Even after we told her I'm not Christian and husband considers himself an atheist, she kept pushing for a christening. One day, after I fed the baby and passed him to husband for burping, he immediately handed him to mother-in-law. She said passive-aggressively, "Oh, I'm allowed to hold him now, am I?" Husband replied, "Not if you talk like that. We're already exhausted with a newborn." Instead of apologizing, she started crying and said, "I'm not feeling loved. Do you even want me in his life?" And her tears vanished the moment she turned around. It felt performative. When I asked her to wash her hands before holding her newborn, especially after playing with our dog, and given that she gets cold sores, she completely ignored my request. The next time she visited, husband sheepishly asked her to wash her hands. She snapped back, "Do you want me to shower as well?" She was furious, and I could see why husband is so hesitant to stand up to her. Mother-in-law brought mini Legos labeled for children over 6 years old when our little one was a newborn. I told her he was too young and we didn't have room to store them for 6 years. She said, "Okay." And the next week, she showed up with a bag full of them and handed them to husband, telling him where to store them in our house. She was blatantly disregarding my decision in our own house, acting like this is her son's house and I'm just temporarily living in it. When husband eventually returned the Legos, she made her point by showing up on subsequent visits with bags full of thrifted toys with choking hazards, used books, and flashcards unsuitable for a newborn. She has like flashcards for like multiplication for a
to
newborn.
play around the world.
Yeah, exactly. She didn't ask if we wanted any of it. She just dumped them in our house. We ended up throwing all of it away. Mother-in-law invited herself to regular visits by saying, "On my next fortnightly visit," she
No, we can't just pass that up. Fortnightly visit. Who speaks like this?
She didn't ask, she just told us. Not once during those early postpartum visits did she offer to help or bring food. All of our friends who visited brought food, nappies, or offered to help. Father-in-law, on the other hand, tidied up without being asked and gave attention to our dog, knowing that we were adjusting to life with a newborn. On husband's birthday, when little one was 5 weeks old, husband messaged mother-in-law requesting she shorten her visit because we were exhausted. She ignored the text, came earlier than planned, and stayed until almost dinner time. I baked a cake and arranged snacks. She brought a packet of chips, but took it back with her when we didn't open it, asking repeatedly, "Are you going to eat these chips? Otherwise, I'll take it back." She then complained, "This is the first time we didn't have a meal on your birthday. Was there a reason we couldn't stay for dinner?" Yeah, it's this baby right here.
It's the thing that came out of me, actually.
Right,
It's
it's like
their fault.
only 5 weeks old. That's why. That's why. While we were having birthday cake, mother-in-law was holding our crying little one. When I got up and reached for my baby, she turned away from me and said, "No, you go eat your cake." When a mother asks for her crying newborn, one should hand the baby back. We started meeting her at restaurants and parks so we could leave when we were ready. However, as soon as we indicate we're leaving, she asks, "What are we doing next? Are we going to your house?" If we mention other plans, she responds, "Oh, I thought we were going to your house after this. Are we not going to your house?" She just really wants to be in that house.
She does.
My
She's
goodness.
like, where's? I'm gonna get the guest room ready.
Right. She stares at husband, putting him on the spot and trying to make him uncomfortable. At a buffet restaurant, husband and I agreed that mother-in-law would not sit next to little one because she isn't hygiene conscious. When husband got up to fill his plate, mother-in-law immediately swapped seats without asking. I told her that husband was still sitting there, but she ignored me and continued interacting with little one. I said, "Okay, ignore us then." She grumbled and said, "I'll move in a minute," but didn't move. 5 minutes later, after I took a phone call, dear husband came up to me and said, "Mom is very upset. Can she sit in my seat next to the little one, please?" That moment really hurt me. Instead of speaking to me directly like an adult, mother-in-law manipulated husband by acting hurt behind my back to convince me. By the time I walked back to the table, she was brazenly sitting in husband's seat, acting like nothing had happened. She was handing finger food from her plate to little one with her bare hands, then kept putting her fingers in little one's mouth. Why are you putting your fingers in her mouth?
I feel like where's the forks? Well,
What
you
is
know
up with
utensils
that?
for a little one?
No utensils.
They don't have
Also-
to eat out of your hands.
They really don't. Even if they do eat out of your hands, you don't have to put their hands in their mouth. What's up with that?
Here comes the
Right?
Like,
I feel like that's just shoving it in the back of their throat. They're gonna choke.
Eat it. Eat
My
it.
goodness.
I hate your mom and you're gonna eat it.
Right. I immediately pulled little one's chair away and firmly said, "No biting." Wait, what?
Wait, you blamed it on the child?
You said that to your child?
No biting.
My therapist, a grandma and mother-in-law herself, was shocked at how often my mother-in-law contacted us, which is multiple times a day, every single day. He gets messages about updates on her day, house dramas, updates about her cats, or random Facebook things. She constantly pressures husband to respond, taunting him, "I guess I won't hear from you until you're back at work." God forbid a 38-year-old son, a grown man with a newborn, postpartum wife, and a full-time job should have any space. The therapist said that mother-in-law was pulling husband into her everyday dramas when he was already dealing with his own life. She mentioned that she would love to contact her son every day too, but knows that's not healthy because he's a married man with a wife, 2 kids, and a busy job. The therapist suggested going no contact with my mother-in-law for some time to clear my mind. So I went no contact before she could drain the last of our energy and destroy the peace in our home. As I slowly began distancing myself, mother-in-law noticed and suddenly changed her tune, messaging about dropping off chicken soup to, quote, "give us a break." Mind you, our little one is almost a year old now. Where was all this kindness before? Classic love bombing from someone who senses that they're losing control. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Very, very intuitive to know that.
Right. Husband takes little one to visit our in-laws once a month, but it's sad that father-in-law, a wonderful and kind man, doesn't get to see little one more often because of mother-in-law. Father-in-law always made us feel loved, genuinely cares about us, and offers help where he can. He is giving and warm, the complete opposite of mother-in-law, who is unhappy, always pessimistic, and consumed with her own feelings. I suggested to husband that we catch up with just father-in-law, but he's too scared of the pity party that will ensue if we leave mother-in-law behind. Mother-in-law doesn't even let husband and father-in-law spend time together on their own. It's like husband was never allowed to have his own separate connections with his extended family members even as an adult. Most of our marital arguments stemmed from mother-in-law's meddling, and the ripple effect of her interference still causes tension between us. Husband never stood up for himself, let alone for me, and thinking about how this miserable mother-in-law caused cracks in our marriage makes me so angry. Husband has been conditioned to be responsible for his mother's feelings, and he lets that obligation dictate his life choices even as an adult, putting strain on our relationship. Because of her, mother-in-law has missed out on so much of this special time. It's heartbreaking because he truly deserves to be part of the little one's life. It's also sad to come to terms with the fact that our children won't have the kind of involved grandparents that I always hoped for. I often wish my own parents lived closer. And I often wish that you would listen to full episodes with more stories just like this one. Just go to Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search OK Storytime. You could do just that. But there is a little bit more to the story, but yeah, that must be hard to like understand your husband's past with this woman and not really know what to do about it. You know?
Yeah. I feel like this one is kind of like halvesies on the mom and the wife. Like, it's
Right.
like, I want to abide by what my wife says, but also that's my mom, you know?
Right.
That's the other two.
Yeah.
They were like, I'm
Totally
with you,
standing up.
sister.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
my
it's
mom's
like, I got
crazy.
you. Yeah. But
Yeah.
like, we already know.
Right.
But like, it seems like he doesn't want to lose her. And I'm sure that she, being the narcissist that she is making him feel bad about, you know, like not letting her do this and her and her and her.
Yeah.
Like, that's, you know, what they do. So
Exactly. Yeah, I feel like it's like, yes, you can understand how this all happened. I mean, it's gotta be throughout childhood, you know, but then it's like you don't really know what to do about it, especially if he's not really noticing it and noticing that it's a problem. So yeah, it was very, very frustrating. But there is a little bit more to the story. Let's wrap this on up. Some people, like my mother-in-law, mistake kindness and respect for weakness until the person they've been mistreating finally sets boundaries. She had every chance to treat me with respect from the beginning, but instead chose passive aggression, sarcasm, taunting, and snide remarks. Now that I've stopped playing the pushover role she expected, she's realizing she no longer has the control she once did. Her sudden desire to, quote, start over doesn't feel like remorse. It feels like she wants back the control and attention. Since going no contact with my mother-in-law a year ago, I feel much more at peace. She brought negativity, lacked empathy, and drained us emotionally. Life without her has been calmer, and I hope this peace continues, even if she's pressuring my husband to reconnect. And that is the end of that story.